Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rocky Mountain Rankings. I'm your host, Davies Tallow, and today, after over a week since my last posting, which was 45 years old uh, in 2023, covered the whole month of March and albums that were born in '78. I was going to do something last Monday, but, well, things just didn't work out. Mostly it was the weather that wasn't working for me. It was last weekend. Well, let's put it this way: the 1st of April. Uh, Probably yeah, that Saturday up until Tuesday was absolutely horrible. It was. I mean, we've had more snow this year than ever. I mean, it was weird. I mean, we would have snow, it would accumulate, then would melt, then we'd have more snow, and then melt. Meanwhile, in the mountains, we've got record snowfall, 800%, 800% snowpack. Um, last weekend it was just miserable. I mean, it was cold, it was snowy, it was wet, it was just awful. So that kind of turned my mood sour. We were kind of busy at work. We would have been busier if we'd had snow throwers to sell. We do still have a few snow throwers left to sell at the shop, but uh, if we would have had more, we probably had more business. I don't know. But yesterday and today was absolutely awesome. Got out, came home yesterday from work, which is Saturday. Today is Sunday, by the way. You'll be seeing this Monday morning, of course. But Saturday after work, got out, cleaned up the limbs that fell off my tree in my backyard, cleaned up the flower beds so the flowers can come up and bloom finally. They're starting to come up. And just got out and enjoyed warmth. And today, the same thing. Got out, did some things, you know, cleaned up my driveway, cleaned up my shop out back in my garage. It was so wonderful to get out and enjoy warm weather. I'm so looking forward to more of it. But at the same time, Saturday when I came home and went up the river, which is south of my house, uh, it's almost to the top. They finally had to open the spillway at Pineview Reservoir, and I'm sure they had to open the spillway at Causey Reservoir, which is up further east of there. Both big reservoirs. And they had to open them up and send the water down. Of course, here you got the Ogden River meeting the Weber River, which is Weber River south of my house. Probably maybe, I want to say maybe a mile away from where I am. But it's getting quite full. And fortunately, it would take a lot of water to reach me. I'm at the highest point in Plain City. One of my relatives told me that. I thought he was pulling my leg, but I went on Google Earth and found out that my house is at the highest point of Plain City. Actually, I have a small garage on the east side of my house, and that is actually the highest point right there, which is odd because, well, the layout of my property, it just makes that garage look lower, but it's actually the highest point. So that would be last spot to get covered up by water if it reached there. But like I said, it would have to be some serious flooding to reach here. But anyway, very fortunate to have this house. I'm thank God above for blessing me with this house. It's just, I don't know what I'd do without this. I guess I'd be homeless, but no, I doubt that. But you never know. So, but I really am glad I live where I do. So anyway, enough of the weather, enough of floods, enough of snow. I feel better. But anyway, today, if you haven't already guessed, we're ranking the cover art of Kansas. 15 albums. I'm not going to include Always Never the Same, because that's a compilation album with some new tunes. Other songs re-recorded, older songs re-recorded. A couple of covers, I believe. I'm not going to include that. I'm just going to include the definitive albums, studio albums. So I thought I was going to include the live album, Two for the Show, but I decided not to. So anyway, let's get into it, shall we? But before we do, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. Like the video, hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode, and leave your own ranking of Kansas cover art down below, or rank their albums. It doesn't matter, but leave your comments clean, please, and decent. So let's get into this, shall we? Said 15 albums, starting with my least favorite, working up to my favorite. Just because it's my least favorite doesn't mean I absolutely loathe it. No, there are albums out there with horrendous cover art. Not Kansas, though. There's some weak album cover art here, but it's not horrendous. So anyway, getting ahead of myself here. I'm not into what I'm supposed to be in. Gosh dang it. All right. Now I'm where I'm supposed to be here. I need to get a new chair. This one's just a little too low. Just a little bit too low. But anyway, Kansas. Current members: Phil Earnhardt on drums, Rich Williams on lead guitar, Billy Greer on bass and lead vocals, David Ragsdale on violin, rhythm guitar, and backing vocals, Ronnie Platt on lead vocals, keyboards, and Tom Brislin on keyboards and backing vocals. Good lineup. Ronnie Platt's a godsend for Kansas. When I heard that Walsh was going to retire, Steve Walsh. Oh my gosh, brain fart there. When I heard he was going to retire, I thought, oh my gosh, who are they going to get to do vocals? I thought for sure they would call it quits. But he really has stepped up. He great voice. And I don't blame Steve for wanting to retire. I mean, he has put his voice through a lot, and I know he's had trouble in the past with his vocals, but he lasted a long time. I mean, in impressive. But Ronnie Platt, he really stepped up and hit it out of the park. Last two albums have been great, especially the recent ones, really fantastic. But anyway, cover art. Starting with number 15. That's number 15. Oh, where am I here? Oh, not that one. Okay. There we go. Album that was released on May 20th, 1982. And I remember when this came out, it was when Steve had left and John. Now, I know I'm probably going to mispronounce his last name, but LaFente. Apologies if I mispronounced that. I always had trouble pronouncing that. But anyway, his first album with the band, of course, that is Vinyl Confessions. Not bad, but yeah, I'm hiding. Just, well, the Kansas logo. Interesting, but it reminds me of somebody who didn't know what they wanted to do, the capital Kansas or the lowercase. And the colors, no, not for me. And just having the circular pattern with the chair below a light. I guess that's supposed to be where you go make your vinyl confessions. I have no idea. There's the band on the back. But yeah, it kind of casts a very dim light on the music on this album is okay, but it's not really solid Kansas with their signature sound. Very different from the previous album, Audio Visions. But and the cover, signifies that. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a very bland cover with a very bland album. Now, I'd like some of the tunes on it, but Kerry Livgren and the guys were just at a point where they didn't know what they wanted to do, it seems. I know Kerry was had become a born again Christian, and his musical way he wrote music reflected that. So, especially on the next album. So anyway, that's my number 15. Very bland art for a very bland album. So, okay, on to number 14. Okay. Released July of 1983. Second and last album with John on vocals. Drastic Measures. And not a bad album cover. Trying to get the glare of the monitor out of there. Not a bad album cover. It just not very exciting. Here you got Kansas in the corner there, the digitalized logo. And oddly enough, it's a registered trademark by now. So, and I saw them on this tour. They came and played the D Event Center at Weber State in Arden. And I was working at Weber High as a janitor. And me and two other guys went to get tickets because we all love Kansas. Kansas was, we were very big into it then, and I'm still big into Kansas. But I was really, really big into them then. And I remember going there, and we met a couple of our friends coming out, and we asked them, they got any tickets left on the floor? And they said, no, they're all sold. Bummer, man. So we walked in there, and my friend Ted goes, what's the best seats you got left? Because we wanted to get as close as possible. If we couldn't have the floor, at least we could get as close as we could. And the lady goes, well, that's easy, front row. And Ted goes, not floor front row. She goes, yeah, floor front row. Really? She goes, yeah, we got 4 seats left there, and we got 5 in the. I go, well, you got any others? She goes, well, we got 5 in the second row. And we go, are you sure? So we bought the front, all 9 seats. We purchased all 9 seats, which was odd because that's how many people were wanting to go. So it worked out perfect. Only concert I've ever been in the front row, ever, in my life. I've come the closest, I think before that or since, was we were on 6th row for Styx during their Kilroy Was Here tour, which was awesome. But this, the Drastic Measures tour was awesome. John Elefante was great. Rich, where I was standing, Rich Williams was right in front of me, just jamming out on his guitar. Remember, I smiling and giving him the thumbs up, and him smiling back and giving me the thumbs up. It was great. And the funny part about it is, if you've ever been to a concert, there's usually you're a certain distance from the stage edge. Here, the stage was probably chest height on me. I'm 6'2", so that would probably be 5 feet, probably approximately 5 feet off the floor. Well, in front of that, there was a barrier, and there's probably about 5 feet between the stage and the barrier, which is, where I was, and my, three of my buddies. Somewhere during the concert, we pushed that barrier up. I didn't push it up. Next thing I know, I'm going forwards, and we're right to the stage. And I were looking to my left. This guy popped out, looks down at us, looks back to his left, and he goes, and then disappeared. I guess telling whoever that the barrier was pushed to the stage edge, and there's nothing he could do. So, anyway, I thought I'd tell you that little story there. That was a really fun night. Kansas was in top form. It would just been awesome if Steve had been there. And Robbie Steinhardt. He'd left by this time. So anyway, that's my number 14, Drastic Measures. Not a bad cover, but it's just bland. Here's the back, just black with red letters, digital letters. So, number 14. On to number 13. Okay, number 13. It came out September 1975. Their second album. I think, no, their third album. I'm sorry, their third album. And that is Mask. Now, this is the music on this is awesome. They've just about got their signature sound down at this point. The cover, not bad. Get that glare out of there. Notice I got the nice price sticker right there. And I paid $5.98. I think I bought this at Musicland. I can't remember for sure. But anyway, not a bad cover. It's kind of interesting, but not really a grabber, And they, even though the previous album had their signature logo on it, for some reason they chose not to use that logo on this one. So, of course, there's the on the back. But anyway, decent album. Decent, but not one of my favorites. So, a lot of, sea creatures and fish and squid and octopus on there, making this face. So, pearls. Pearl necklace. Kind of interesting, but anyway, that's my number 13. And I got to tell you, trying to figure out the best to worst, the worst to best on this was really tough. Because even though there's, like Vinyl Confessions and Drastic Measures, it's figuring out what was my number one, number two. Tough. I mean, the further I went, the tougher it got. So, anyway, we're on to number 12. Okay. Good album. Came out September 1980. But the cover art, okay. Audio Visions. Reflects what the title specifies. Of course, you got this weird looking guy on the back, looks like he's got a twinkle in his eye, like bizarre mustache. But it's okay. I like the logo. I mean, it's bold and badass. But the color scheme, it just, I don't know. And again, a nice price. The nice price. What was a nice price? $5.98 again. Don't get these for that much nowadays, do we? Of course, I haven't really priced out vinyl lately. I don't buy vinyl. I haven't for years. A lot of people revere vinyl, love vinyl. I do not like the hissing and crackling. Some people say, well, that adds to the atmosphere. I don't care. If I want hissing and crackling, I'd go find a Karen and sit with her next to a fire and listen to her hiss negative while we hear the fire crackle. I don't like that. It drove me crazy back then, trying to get the album to clean as possible. And then there's that chance that you're going to drop your album, and this has happened to me twice. When you're picking it up, dropping it, and hitting the corner of something hard, and putting a nice gouge. Now they said, well, you could do that with a CD, but yeah, you can break a CD, you can break an album. I did that once too, a long time ago. I was drunk, and well, we won't go into that. But vinyl, just the hissing and crackling just drives me crazy. But anyway, that's my number 12. On to number 11. Okay. Number 11 came out September 23rd, 2016. The first album with Ronnie Platt on vocals. That's the Prelude Implicit. You can get the glare out of the monitor there. Not a bad cover. Kind of cool. But the logo should be bigger across the top. They got it too small. I don't know. And of course, you can tell this is a drawback of the plastic case. When you order it or anything, it can get cracked. This one's cracked on the back and the front. I don't know if I did that but anyway, good album, fantastic. But the album cover, it's good, decent, interesting, but it's not great. Let's put it that way. So anyway, on to number 10. Okay, this album released July 11th, 2000, the day after my birthday. Well, one of my birthdays. Album that's the only one to include, let's say, all the members of Kansas. And that is, of course, Somewhere to Elsewhere. You got Steve Walsh, Kerry Livgren, Robbie Steinhardt, Rich Williams, Billy Greer, Dave Hope, and Phil Earhart. And you also got Kerry Livgren's son Jake Livgren and his daughter Jessica doing background vocals. Again, not a bad cover. I'll get the glare out of there again. Decent, but kind of a little bit boring to me. And the title, when these guys come with titles lately, it's like, let's see, what should we call this album? I know, Somewhere to Elsewhere. That should do it. Yeah. Why, call it something else. I mean, come with something better. I mean, back in the day, they came with some great titles, but somewhere to elsewhere, a prelude implicit. I mean, boring, boring titles. Uh, the back is kind of interesting. An eyeball with uh, what we call it in it. Oh, I can't think of what it's called. Oh. But anyway, I'll think about it. I'll think of what it's called later on. What is that called? Good grief. Ugh. I can't think of. Yeah, you're probably telling me right now what it's called. Davies, it's this. I can't think of it. Yeah, too much going here in my mind, and ooh. But anyway, again, not a bad album cover. Good, kind of a strange album. I mean, I guess all the songs were written by Kerry Livgren. Icarus 2 is good. Grand Fun Alley, the Coming Dawn I love. Marid, Look at the Time, Disappearing Skin Tight Blues, Distant Visions, okay. Not Man Big. Kind of a strange album, though okay, but kind of reflects on the cover. So anyway, that's my number 10, Somewhere to Elsewhere. Okay. Number 9. Come on, number 9. The most recent album, released July 17th. Another July release. 2020. Talking The Absence of Presence. Kind of cool album cover. The only negative on this cover is the logo of Kansas. You can barely see right there in the bubbles, right there. And the title is up in this ribbon here. And I know other like P. Pardo and Sea Tranquility and others were saying, that the logo needs to stand out. Some bands like to not put their name on the cover and everything. Here it's like, well, let's put it on there, but let's not. But anyway, it's a interesting, decent cover. Let's unfold it here. Kind of cool. And again, The Absence of Presence. Title's okay. Again, it could have been better, in my opinion. But we're slowly improving here with the covers. So anyway, second one with Ronnie Platt on vocals. Let's see here. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on. See, yeah, Zach Rizviz, is that how you pronounce that? Apologies if I'm mispronouncing it. He did electric guitar on this one. The band was up to 7 members at this point, but he left. Zach left, I believe, after the tour. So, and great album. The album was written by Zach and, let's see, Tom Preslin. So it's the first album to have none of the remaining original members writing the songs, and they wanted to do that. They wanted to get some fresh blood, so to speak, and it's really good. It's a really decent album. It's really growing on me. So anyway, that's my number 9, Absence of Presence. Okay, this next album came at number 8. Was released November 28th, 1986. And this one kind of caught me by surprise when it came out. Because at this point, Kansas hadn't done an album since Audio Visions. Or no, not, I take that back. Since Drastic Measures. Kerry Livgren had left the band. Dave Hope had left the band. So basically, Kansas was defunct at the time. But surprisingly, they came back, and Steve Walsh returned, and we got this little gem, Power. I played the heck out of this album. Great album. Different, but kind of regenerated the Kansas movement, revitalized it, so to speak. On this one, you had Phil Arnhart, Rich Williams, Steve Walsh, Steve Morris on guitar, and Billy Greer. This is their first album with the band. The album cover, again, decent album cover. Not bad, but not the greatest. But it basically saying what the title conveys. Power. I mean, it's just a great album. And it, like I said, I played the heck out of this album. But where the album cover is good, it's still not great. But I don't hate it. But I don't hate any of these covers. They're just could have been, a little bit better. But again, the logo on this one, it just fits. Power, it's got like rivets. So that's my number 8. Okay, number 7, released October 25th, 1988. Another album I played the heck out of when it came out. And that is In the Spirit of Things. Good. I love the album cover, but the logo, come on. You got Kansas, and then you got the last S smaller, and you got a line through it, or a line on the bottom. I guess that's supposed to be like a street sign. Welcome to Kansas Street. I don't know. And the title, just below it there. I do like the way they got the two people standing there with the ghosts around them. Uh, guys on the back. This is Steve Morris and Billy Greer's second album. It'll be the last one with Steve Morris in the band. He went to move on to other things. But again, good. I played the heck out of this album. It was just awesome. But what's holding back the cover is the logo. I mean, it just, I don't know. Maybe it kind of fits. I don't know. It just doesn't fit with me. So that's my number 7 in the spirit of things. Okay. Released May 29th, 1995. Another surprise at the time. It had been Kansas studio album out for quite a while, I believe. Between the spirit of things and this album, there was just some live stuff. But anyway, we're talking Freaks of Nature. Get that. The cover says what the title does. You know, if you didn't have to, really put the title Freaks of Nature on there. It's and I kind of love that Kansas logo. Got some interesting things going on there. Decent cover. There's the guys on the back. And this one, the only album with this lineup. Phil, Rich, Steve, Billy Greer, Greg Robert on keyboards, and David Ragsdale. Be the only one with Greg Robert. David Ragsdale will be the only one with him until the Prelude Implicit when he returned. Take over violin chores again after Robbie stepped down, basically retired. But yeah, it's, a lot of people don't like this album. I really think it's decent. It's vastly different from everything that came before or after. But I do think it's a decent album, decent cover. So, but that's my number 6. Now we're at the top 5 at 5. Okay, this album, a lot of people revere because it's the very first one. Released March 8th, 1974. The debut, Kansas. Classic album cover, classic painting. Band on the back. Of course, you got the original lineup. Steve Walsh, Kevin Livgren, Robbie Steinhardt, Rich Williams, Dave Hope, and Phil Earhart. Decent debut. Not 100% what they would become, but it was, a good blueprint for what was to come. Great album cover, but not their best. Not the best. The best is yet to come. So that's my number 5. On to number 4. Okay. Released February 1975. An album that a lot of people revere. Again, Song for America. Again, a nice price. Again, $5.98. I'm pretty sure I got these at Music Land. I'm pretty sure. There they are on the back. We get Williams down at the bottom there with that fro. He's rocking it. And he had a thing for coveralls, overalls, whatever you want to call them. Used to wear those on stage with plaid shirts. But yeah, great album, great classic album cover, but still, to me, not their best. But it's really first one with that classic logo on it. Love that. Love it. Love that logo. Every album should have that. You know, different color schemes, but it should be that way. So that's my number 4. Second album, Song for America. Classic album. On to number 3. Okay, the third one, which is actually, well, their fourth album, released October 21st, 1976, bicentennial year, for a classic album, Left Overture. Again, the nice price, $5.98. Love the way that paper, it got written on that paper and it kind of trails off in the distance between the planets there. Got, I guess that's Nostradamus or Galileo or whoever the hell, I guess it's Nostradamus. I don't know. Or not Nostradamus. What is his name? Leonardo da Vinci, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, fine album cover, but to me, still not 100% the best. But the album, the songs on this, this is the album that defined their signature sound. It really did. And it's got my close to number 1, if not my number 1 song, Magnum Opus. I love that song, especially live, off their live album, 2 for the Show. Awesome song. Okay. On to the top 2. Okay. Released October 11th, 1977. And this could easily be my number 1, but my number 1 is just tad better than this. Though not by much. A hair's breadth. A hair's breadth. Point of no return. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, that's got to be the number 1. Well, to you, but not to me. Though, this could easily flip with my number 1. It's just awesome. Awesome album cover. Awesome album. And if I remember correctly, I think when I ranked Kansas albums for the music, I believe this was my number 1. I can't remember. I'm sure. But this is just, the height of their power. Of, Steve, Kerry, Robbie, Rich, Dave, Phil. I mean, they were just getting stronger and stronger here. So, classic album cover, classic album. Okay, my number one. If you hadn't already guessed what my number one is, let me tell you. If you don't know Kansas, you don't know what my number one is. But if you're watching this, you know Kansas, you know what it is. Released May 1979. Monolith. Now, when I sat down to decide the ranking of the album covers, when I looked at this one, I knew this was going to be my number one. By a hair's breadth over Point of No Return. A hair's breadth. I just love this album cover. It's just futuristic. It's dark and menacing, but the back cover is just awesome. Inner cover. You know, and I guess another reason why I love this cover is I'm in this kind of theme with my book reading. You know, futuristic, post-apocalyptic stuff. Um, got a little poem here or a little saying here in the inner sleeve. Soon the earth would be covered with dust, and a new earth would be born. All nations of Indians, long dead, would come back to life. The white man would disappear, and the buffalo would return. Kind of menacing, uh, titled The Ghost Dance, Kansas, 1889. You know, it kind of conveys that you know, the Indians wanting their territory back, which I don't blame them. You know, if somebody came down and took away my home, I'd be upset too. But at the same time, you know, to wish, you know, somebody, one race of people to disappear, you know, that's my take on that Ghost Dance poem. Is, you know, it sad and a true meaning, you know, behind the scenes way a lot of Native Americans see things. But at the same time, you've got to look at the positive. Of course, you know, there's always going to be negatives and there's always going to be positives with everything that happens. You got to look at the positives. You've got to stick with the positives. I know a lot of people, well, what positive? What's positive? Well, if you need to ask that, what positive, then you're leading your life rather negatively. But anyway, that aside, I still awesome cover. Album, decent. Not the best. I can't remember what I ranked this at. But it's got one of my favorite songs, People of the South Wind. A Glimpse of Home. On the Other Side, great. But this would be the second to last album with the classic lineup. You know, the next one to be Audio Visions, and then things would start changing, unfortunately. So, anyway, there you go. The album cover's ranked. Uh, Great band. I'm glad they're still uh, touring and making music. So, leave your own ranking down below. I'd love to see it. And please, like I said before, please subscribe. I know I'm not the best speaker around. And I've said this before, I'm trying my best. That's all you can do in your life is try your best. A lot of things happened this past winter. This past winter was really dark for me personally. Lost my mother. Um, haven't been 100% health wise. And that can wear on you. That can wear on you. That can affect you negatively uh, when you're in pain. A lot of the time, it just has an impact on your life. It really does. And I think that was the reason my mother wanted to leave, wanted to go home, how she put it, because she was in pain all the time, and she just wanted to be pain free. And I don't blame her. When you're in constant pain, you got that nagging pain that just, or ache that just will not go away. You know, sometimes it will. It just wears on you. And this pain that I got, I finally figured out what it is. It's my neck, the muscles in my neck have been irritated, and oh, it just aches. Last night wasn't bad. But today it's been off and on, off and on. So if you're going through pain, I wish you the best. I know it sucks, but all we can do is continue to try. So anyway, enough of the negative here. Positive, positive. We need positive. There you have it. Kansas. Well, should we do a little recap here? Number 1, monolith. Number 2, point of no return. Number 3, left overture. Number 4, song for America. Number 5, the debut. Number 6, freaks of nature. Number 7, in the spirit of things. Number 8, power, got power. Number 9, absence of presence. Number 10, somewhere to elsewhere. Number 11, the prelude implicit. Number 12, audio visions. Number 13, mask. Number 14, drastic measures. And number 15, vinyl confessions. We will get you to confess. Confess! Confess how you rank Kansas yourself. We'll come to your house and make it watch you live with your mama. Oh. So anyway, have a good week. Like I say, stay positive. You're in one of those funks where you're in constant pain, just do your best. That's all you can do. But anyway, have a good one, and we've got I'm going to be doing a song ranking of hopefully 30 Seconds to Mars. This is War. Uh, I'm not big into 30 Seconds to Mars, but uh, this album I really love. And I'm going to go through and rank the songs best I can because, and the album is solid. I mean, all the tracks on it are solid. So it's going to be tough. So that's going to be hopefully sometime this week. And I've been wanting to do a review on some albums, but uh, now that hopefully we got winter out of the way, we can get things going here. So anyway, have a good one, and we'll see you when we see you.